Welcome back to my dad's channel. If you're new here, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to share.
Welcome. As you can see, the studio has changed, and sometimes I have to shoot from here from time to time, and I want to make sure proper credit was given. Now, I'm really excited about this redemption because, me and my wife normally we take an international trip at least once a year in order to really stretch these points that we earn all through the year and try to get the best value that we can get out of them. Now, it is no secret that I personally value Amex points at 6 cents a point because that is the average out of all the redemptions I've done that I've gotten with them. And Chase, I value around 4.5, sometimes 5 on a good day. So when I see a lot of, the TPG references of 2 cents, I mean, that's all good and great, but just understand that's an aggregate. So we're going to be dealing with these in relations to how I value points. Now, I've spent a lot of points and I have most of this trip planned out, but I was so excited that I want to share it with you guys. So without any further ado or any further babbling, let's just jump right into it. So now what I'm going to be doing is giving you guys the point redemptions as compared to the cash prices, and then we'll do some calculations at the end, and then we'll give a total cent per point value of all the points that I spend. We're going to do a cumulative thing at the end. I think it'll be really cool for you guys to see exactly what it takes to put these redemptions into play and how certain redemptions can affect the value of other points when you combine them as a whole trip experience. So first on the list, it's a flight for two from our home airport down here in Palm Beach to Atlanta, and that's going to be 17,000 Virgin Atlantic miles. That's where I booked it from, the Virgin Atlantic website, plus $11.20 for the 9/11 fund that I told you guys about when I talked to you about the dark side of points travel. So that is going to be equivalent to a cash value of $268. Now, because we're flying to Atlanta the night before our international trip so that we don't have any issues the next day, we can get up leisurely and get to the airport and have our lounge experience on time, we are going to be staying at the Renaissance Atlanta. Now, the Renaissance is a hotel that you can get to using the train. There's an air tram from Atlanta International Airport, actually like all the way to the rental car site. So Renaissance Atlanta is one of the stops. So we don't even have to rent a car in order to get to our airport and get back and forth to the airport from our hotel. So that's pretty cool. Now, for this redemption, for a one-night stay, I actually used my free night award from my Bonvoy business card, in addition to a 6,000 point top off plus $5. And now the equivalent for that room night is $244. Now that really helps because that cancels out the $125 annual fee that I pay for the business card. So it has already paid for itself till I get my next free night award. So now we get into the bigger redemptions. Once we stay the night at the Renaissance, we're going to head to Atlanta Airport, and we're going to be flying Air France A350 business class from Atlanta to MXP, Milan International. I think they call it Milan International, but I don't know. Either way, that is going to be 112,000 points plus $454 out of pocket. Now, the reason that it's 112,000 points is because at the time I actually used a 30% Air France transfer bonus that American Express was having. So I was able to get a discount there. But the cash value for 2 business class tickets for 2 in Air France's business class on the A350 is $7,059. Now, I hope you guys are keeping track. I'm going to try to put numbers up at the top here so you don't really have to kill yourself to keep track. So that was a pretty big one. So now here's something special. Once we land in Milan, I got car service from the airport. We're going to be going to Como. Obviously, it's famous for Lake Como, where a lot of celebrities live, and there are a bunch of cities around there, like Bellagio and Venera. So we're looking forward to that, and I actually got a pretty good room at the Hilton Lake Como, which gives us some city views, and I'm sure there are upgrades. So what I did was I paid cash for that, and I used my Hilton Surpass card in order to get the points. I didn't think it was that bad, but I still actually do have the option to use my free night award. I can call them and rearrange the booking if I need to, but as of right now, I'm going to count the cash price for this room that I'm going to be paying. And that cash price is going to be $835 for the few nights that we're going to be staying there, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've seen some videos on it. The hotel looks awesome. So we will not be using any points here. That is straight cash out of pocket. Now, the next redemption is going to be at the AC Hotel in Venice because we are going to be working the boot. So we're going to be staying at the AC for 41,000 Marriott points plus $3.80 US. And that cash price for that room is actually $225 US. Now, here's another huge redemption. Shout out to Anthony Venture because he wants to stay here too, and I'm definitely going to make sure he gets a video review of it. Is that in Rome, we will be staying at the Palazzo Manfredi. Now, the Palazzo Manfredi is super special because it sits in the shadow of the Roman Colosseum. You can actually see the ludus where gladiators trained. You can see the ruins, and you can actually dine in the shadow of the Colosseum. So we are really looking forward to it. The Palazzo Manfredi is a Hyatt property. So we actually used 160,000 Hyatt points in order to book this room. Zero cash out of pocket. Now, the cash price for that room is $2,375. Now, since we went through all the trouble of getting there, now we got to find our way home. So it was important to me. I at first wanted to try one of the Middle Eastern carriers, but I actually found a deal that I could not refuse. And we will actually be flying Lufthansa business class. So we're going to be switching off a SkyTeam and going to Star Alliance. Now, luckily, we have a little stopover in Frankfurt, so we'll actually be able to see both Italy and Germany. Will be able to hang out there for a little bit. Now, the cost for that was 116,667 Chase points, which I converted over to Air Canada when they had a 20% transfer bonus. And in addition to that, the out-of-pocket cost will be $306. So that's just for taxes and such. Now, that huge redemption, that 8 cent per point redemption, has a cash value of $9,711 for business class tickets for two. That is just incredible to me. I couldn't believe I found that diamond in the rough, so I had to pick that up. So I'll try one of the Middle Eastern carriers another time. You know, I'll see what I can do, but this was something I could not pass up. So now, while we're in Frankfurt, we're actually going to be staying at the Sheraton, which is another Marriott property at the Frankfurt airport. Now, the cost of that is going to be 24,000 Marriott points plus $33 US. And the cash equivalent for that room for the stay that we're going to be doing is $254 US. So that is the last part of this huge redemption that we're doing. I did not include the cash price of the car service from Milan to Como, but when I do the updated video, when I have all the redemptions completed, we'll adjust the cash prices, adjust the points values for the final one. Like I said before, this isn't totally done, but I'm really excited, and I just wanted to give you guys some progress on what I have done so far. So with all that being considered, the cash value of this trip is hovering right around $21,000 if we paid for everything out of pocket. Now, lucky for us, we only paid a fraction of out-of-pocket costs for taxes and fees and non-carrier imposed taxes, because we don't do carrier imposed taxes here at Chad's Money Minutes, because that would be leaving money on the table. And we all know how I feel about leaving money on the table. Give me that. So now you know we have a cash value of about $21,000. Now the points cost, so we're just over 475,000 points that have been spent for this trip. Now, using my normal calculations on how I like to calculate cent per cost ratios, this trip on average gave us about 4.2 cents per point. Now, what that means is that even though I got 8 cents per point using my Chase points in order to get the Lufthansa trip, that was brought down by some of the lower redemptions that I had. But also the good news is that I actually dragged the value of all the Marriott points that I spent up from the normal 0.8 to 1.1 cents that I get all the way up to about 4 cents a point. So this is one of the things that I like to tell people, is that you need to understand that your value is your value, and what you get from it may vary from what the other guys get, but as long as you make it work, you can have amazing experiences that you will never forget for very little money out of pocket. So in all, the point systems that were involved were Hyatt, Chase, and Marriott. So this is an absolutely amazing redemption, and what I'm going to do is when I get it completed, there's going to be a part 2 here, but you guys definitely need to stay in tune for that. And I am also available to help people with their redemptions. I do have a membership on my page where I do uncensored, unedited, unfiltered videos for my members only, and there's a higher level for joining, for having time personally with me to sit and work through all of your travel redemptions, because I have a lot of dirty tricks that I can pull out of the bag in order to make that happen. This is really life-changing for me and my wife. Our first anniversary, we did a great redemption. We went to Paris, had our first anniversary on the River Seine, sailing past the Eiffel Tower. Now we are going to be in one of the most beautiful places in Italy for our second anniversary. And of course, we're going to try to outdo it on the third. But this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm in my car. I live in South Florida. It's already getting hot. So I'm going to jump out as well. So I will catch you in the next one, especially for the update. Take it easy.